Hi, this is Steve, and this is a video just to show you what you can do to complete assignment 2 for analysis of sports performance. If you go onto the Google Classroom, on the top there in the streaming part, you will get the volleyball profiling sheets. This will help you complete the video analysis as well as the fitness test results, and also an area for you to kind of gather the strengths and weaknesses for the feedback you will give later on. Also on this Google Classroom are the video footage of each of your dig sets and serves, so just find whichever one you've got there and then you can then analyze it. It's all done in slow motion, so for example here's subject EM, and what you can do is just watch that over and over again and complete those observation sheets. Awesome. So when you click on assignment 2, what I've also done is I've given you a little kind of list of tasks for you to do. So there's task 1 and task 2. But before you do task 1 and task 2, what you do need to do is you need to complete that performance profiling sheet. Here is an example of one of the performance profile sheets. So what this student has done is she has watched the video over and over again and identified both good points and the not so good points for each of the 3 techniques. One other little tip was you should also identify whether it's good or bad. So for example here it's not done in colour, but what this student has done is highlighted the reds and the greens, as in which one is good and which one is bad. This will help you when it comes to doing the feedback later on. So as you can see, this person has completed it all. After the 3 techniques that you've analysed, there should be also a sheet with the results on there. If you haven't got the results, then what you can do is go back to the assignment, and if you scroll to the bottom there is fitness test results for volleyball. What you can do is click on the bottom tab here where it says data, you click on that and then you should have the data for all the groups there. So onto the next sheet, what you then need to do is summarize the key strengths and weaknesses for the 3 techniques, the physical fitness and the psychological test that you've done. So here we've got the underarm serve, the dig and the set. It's a bit sideways at the moment, but as you can see it identified key strengths and key weaknesses, and the whole idea is this can then be used for the feedback later on. After that, what you also need to do is include a score out of 10 for each of those 3 things. One thing I want you to do is think of yourselves as novice volleyball players, and you know which one of those 3 you were best at and which one you were not so good at, and so make sure you got the order right there, and hopefully you can work that out. Compare yourself. If you've got lots of negatives, you're not going to be a 7 out of 10, you're going to be more kind of 5 or something like that, or a 4. So try and be honest with the grades, but in the end is what you think is the grade. After that, the next sheet will be looking at the physical fitness tests and the psychological tests. For the 3 physical fitness tests, what you need to do is have a look at your scores on the fitness test result sheet, this one here, and then compare yourself to the rest of the group. So have a look at yours, have a look at the rest of the group and see where you are compared to them. Also have a look at the data that I gave you for elite volleyball players and then give yourself. So for example this subject here got a really low sit and reach. The average for an elite volleyball player is for 51 centimeters, so she was well off, and so she gave her a low score. But when it came to the vertical jump, she was pretty much there with the elites, as well as quite high compared to the rest of the group, and so 2 high scores there, and that's what we expect. And then on the psychological fitnesses, normally it's a bit rude to kind of measure yourself and compare yourself to others for things like anxiety scores and so on. So just have a look at your individual scores, and if the questionnaire indicates that you've got high motivation, then indicate on here that you've got high motivation. If you've got high anxiety, it goes the other way around. Instead of giving a high score out of 10, give it a low score. So the greater your anxiety, the lower your score should be. So that's that sheet done. After that, it's the one that we did as an example a few weeks back. So you've got here, you've got the different things. Remember, we didn't do the smash, we didn't do the press up, so just change that to sit and reach. And then the first column, of course, is the levels of importance. And as in here, the most important ones for a novice are the 3 techniques. Of course, if you're an elite, we'd put more focus on the importance being the 3 psychologicals. Then input your scores into there, and then do your little calculations to show that what your discrepancies are. And with that, what you can then do is make that radar diagram. So that is that sheet done. So what do you hand in? Well, this is this subject, this learner, she has handed in, first of all, that sheet there. She scanned in that sheet and handed in with submission. The other thing she has also handed in is this upside down document, which is just the 3 psychological tests. So these psychological tests will then be able to kind of prove that you've been able to kind of assess yourself independently. So they're those 2 documents here, and then the third one, of course, is the actual assignment itself. So looking at this assignment, one thing you should be doing is completing the front sheet. So here you can see that they have done that. The one thing they haven't done is added the learner's comments in there, and or tick the box here, of course, to show that this is your work and not copied and plagiarized. And then the last thing that has been missed on here, of course, is where's the evidence, what page number are all these things. And if you can do all that lot, then I'll be happy, and so will the external examiners. So if we scroll through this document, there's the tasks. You can read those tasks, they are helpful. You will find the next thing is the record of practical activity. This is used to assess P3 and M2. To get the merit criteria, what you need to do is show that you've done all these 9 assessments independently. I haven't sat down and shown you what to do, you have done it yourself. So evidence is, for example here, what this learner has done is done photographs showing that they're doing the 3 physical fitness tests, and then just a quick sentence saying this is me doing it independently. Spell it right though. And then the next thing this learner has done is just said, I've analysed the serve, dig and set. The video is available here, and also submitted with this assignment is my observation sheets. So that's why you should always do that. And also with the psychological tests, I completed 3 psychological tests, being for anxiety, motivation and confidence, and I did them independently, and these copies are also done. So that is all done. And also, of course, make sure you complete the boxes under there. Your email address is basically your signature online, and then at the top just make sure that you filled out these boxes here, and if you can do that, I'll be more than happy and be able to mark it properly. The last thing you need to do is you need to kind of get all this information and put it together in some feedback that you can give to an athlete. And normally if you're giving feedback to an athlete, you don't give them all the documents, say here you are, sort it out yourself. You try and make it as succinct and as digestible as is possible. So what this learner has done there is just given an overview of what the analysis was. I've analysed your volleyball, looked into 3 areas, technical, tactical, physical and psychological, and then there was 9 areas. Here's a spider diagram. Then after the spider diagram, you just summarize what you've done on the sheets. So talk about the boxes, say for example here, just say one of your weaknesses was your sit and reach. In the sit and reach, you got a score of this, compare it to an elite volleyball player, done that. So this is the kind of feedback you do. So just go through all these sheets and identify it. Once you've done all that lot in your feedback, you then need to go into recommendations. The recommendations, of course, are for the areas of development you've identified. If you just say improve your serve, it's not good enough. Go back to your sheets for the serve and work out exactly what was wrong in that serve and say you need to improve your serve. We noticed that this area was not correct, so we need to do that, and that's the start of it. And to get the full distinction, of course, what you need to do is then provide examples of, say, drills that will help improve that area of weakness. Of course, if it is like you need to improve your vertical jump or your agility, what you can do is recommend kind of gym exercises that will be able to kind of improve that power and explosiveness. When it comes to the psychologicals, just Google how to improve, say, anxiety in sport and things like that. They will come up with lots of examples. Normally it's all about visualization and so on, so they're classic ones that you can do. But Google it, you should be able to find it. Once you've done all that lot, hand it in, and then I will be able to mark it, and I'll be happy, and hopefully you will be happy. Okay, thank you.